After a lot of playtesting and trying out different combinations, I finally came up with a solid build that can use all sniper rifles and do plus 18 missions. Sniper rifles still suffer from several disadvantages, but with some workarounds, it can be played on high level missions. Until we get a rework for the sniper skills, you can use this setup. Let's start with attributes. First you want to max out accuracy. The suppression and HP gain on hit is great, and of course the 60% damage bonus. Then you want to max out survival so you get more defensive stats, and bloodlust doesn't really matter here. For perks you want Blessing of St. Victorious. It helps us to survive high level missions, and we play with Berserk tokens, which means we want to get hit a lot to generate them. So this perk is even more important for this build. Next, Tactical Mastery. It has a nice cooldown reduction and it helps us to avoid overheat with our grav gun, and if we play it right we can avoid reloading with our sniper rifles. Lastly, the Art of Crippling. We play with damage per debuff weapons. Sniper rifles hit slowly, so this will help us a lot to keep our debuffs up. For your stats you want good defenses. To gain Berserk tokens we want to get damaged, not too much but also not too little. High defenses will help us to stabilize it and get to a sweet spot. Our Berserk tokens also give us more base damage reduction, and our Refractor field gives us another 20% supreme damage reduction. Crit chance isn't that important because we get a lot with our belt enchant, but when tokens are low it falls off, so I still recommend getting over 30%. For crit strength we want over 50, so we can get to over 150 when we have max Berserk tokens. Lastly, we want a good amount of cooldown reduction. We play with both Enrage and Berserk tokens. So for your neural implant you want to get one that gives you Enrage tokens on critical hit. Here I would go first for all resistances and shock and slow on vulnerabilities. You want to have as many debuffs as possible, so you maximize the damage of our weapons. On low level missions we can't generate enough Berserk tokens with our Inoculator enchant, so we have to play with the Eye Implant of Insanity and with this main implant that also gives us Berserk tokens on Massacre effect. Combined they will keep our tokens at a good level. The dream setup for high level missions would be using this Eye Implant that gives us Enrage token damage, and this main implant so we get more Enrage tokens. Combined we get another massive damage boost, but then you have to rely on your Inoculator enchant to generate enough Berserk tokens. The setup using both Enrage items works on certain high level missions, but you have to be patiently getting hit by enemies and healing yourself until your Berserk tokens are at a decent stack. As you can see, you have to find enemies that deal enough damage to you so you generate Berserk tokens. Then you have to hit them so you heal yourself, but you cannot deal too much damage, otherwise the enemies die. So if you are impatient, you better use those two items also on high level missions. If you are using this main implant, you can get attributes here and also damage reduction and resistances. For sockets we are using single target damage, and we are socketing effectiveness to boost our vulnerabilities. On our Purity Seal you want the HP generation enchant. This helps us a lot with our healing needs, and at max stacks we can get over 1600 HP per second. Try to get knockback and fear on crit, so we have two more sources for debuffs, and cooldown is also very important. Our belt enchant should be crit per Berserk token and best on a Refractor field. It doesn't only give us suppression and damage reduction, but it also regenerates suppression. We don't want to use a Rosarius field here because it makes us invulnerable, and we want to get damage constantly to generate tokens. If you need more healing, you can exchange it for a refractor field that gives HP per Berserk token, and until you can find either one of them, you can use this enchant on a refractor field. Try to get first effectiveness and suppression on hit, and socket the same as before. The ultimate goal for our armor should be to get any Daemon Forged armor with this enchant. It saves us from being killed, so when we try to generate tokens or play high level missions, we have a failsafe. This also allows us to socket another Damaging Sun Doctrine. Until you can get it, you can play with any armor. Just use the Ethereal Sun Doctrine that will save you at 30% health. For your stats, just try to get more defenses here. On our Inoculator, you want this enchant. It can generate a lot of Berserk tokens if you play it right. Here you want to get more attributes, and more importantly you want to get supply charge drops so you can recharge your refractor field, and you want to get Inoculator cooldown on kill. Socket the same as before, single target and effectiveness. I'm using 2x Psychon for a big damage boost, hold fast so it lasts longer, and a Bloodbound for more healing. On our sniper rifles we are using the same enchant, damage per debuff. This is really important. Without it, our damage on high level missions is just mediocre. I wish we could play with this enchant on high level missions, but the moment you face elite or boss enemies, your damage is just too bad. Try to get first crit chance and strength and sniper shot damage. In physical damaging sniper rifles we are socketing this doctrine. And in the long last we are socketing this one. For the 6th slot I'm choosing the suppression gain shard. As I mentioned before, we can play all sniper rifles with this build. All of them have advantages and disadvantages. For example, the Needler sniper rifle has a great AoE effect, and the rapid fire skill short burst can keep debuffs up very well. But we lack any armor breaking or armor piercing with this weapon. We also don't have any knockback or knockdown effects, which can cause problems when we face stronger enemies. The reason why the Needler sniper rifle is one of my favorites is because the Needler blast is a really strong AoE attack, and we are getting some unique debuffs like hallucination, Needler toxin, restrain and cell rot, which can boost our damage with our enchant even further. The sniper rifle has armor breaking, knockback and knockdown modifiers. Those really help out when you are facing elite bosses or villain enemies. The Exitus rifle also has armor piercing, stun, knockback and knockdown, and armor breaking. The Longless rifle also has the armor breaking tag on the sniper shot, and it also has a strong AoE attack if you are using the Mega Blast. So you can play them all and see which one you prefer. Our first signum will be damage per Berserk token. Here you want to roll first crit strength, cooldown and crit chance. And our other signum is damage per enraged token. This is very important. With this we can boost our damage to a level that can clear normal enemies easily on +18 missions, so we can get the massacre effects from our items on high level missions. Here you want to get cooldown, crit chance and crit strength first. If you are wondering why I'm not playing with 2 Berserk token signums, it's because until you can get enough stacks up, you pretty much deal no damage. But the enraged tokens are very easy to stack up, especially when we are using a craft gun. So we get a nice damage boost with this signum, and with that we activate massacre effects, and with that we have enough stacks so we can get the benefits from this signum. Our secondary weapon will be a grav gun. It's just an insane support weapon. The gravity implosion is persistent and ticks damage fast, which lets us apply debuffs very well in a big area, and it generates enrich tokens easily. The persistent skill tag also means it stays active while we switch back to our main sniper rifle. This weapon is pretty much required because of the many disadvantages single target ranged weapons have. Like it's hard to apply vulnerabilities and debuffs on several enemies with the sniper rifle, and it's also very hard to generate enrich tokens with single target weapons that don't have channeling skills. So until we get a rework of the sniper rifles and skill tree, the grav gun is required for smooth gameplay. I am also using the damage per debuff enchant on my grav gun, but if you really need more healing, you can use a grav gun of Stride. Here I would go first for crit chance, HP on crit, and cooldown for the gravity implosion. I socketed HP and suppression on hit shards. The suppression gain is really nice for the assassin class. You might think why I'm not using this doctrine that also gives shield charge, because it will disturb our berserk token gain. The damage to our shield doesn't count as HP lost, so it will slow down our berserk token gain. I am using here two general vulnerability signums. If we play it right, we can stack it up and switch back to our sniper rifle and still get the benefit from those vulnerability stacks, so we can maximize our damage even further. Try to get first cooldown and crit chance and crit strength. One big problem are certain villain enemies on high level missions. They have lots of HP, are armored, move fast and chase you, which is really bad if you need to charge your sniper shots. So if you wanna have an easier time dealing with them, you can use a shotgun with damage per debuff enchant and this Psalm doctrine, so you fire more projectiles. The knockback of our burst shot will easily interrupt them, and the man stopper round deals massive damage to them. I will show you a small demonstration here.
Inside.
Let's start with the range combat tree. We want to put 4 points here, so we get more cooldown when we switch weapons, which we do all the time. Here those 3 points give us more reload speed for our sniper rifles, so if you ever mess this up, you still have a very high reload speed. The AoE tree we max out for the damage boost, but more importantly we want a skill in the middle that reduces the cooldown. This is especially helpful for our gravity implosion. Next, the physical attacks tree. Here we get more damage and we get a way to apply physical vulnerabilities. If you are playing the longless rifle, you want to put your points into the heat attacks tree instead. We want to put a few points in the aimed shots tree. Here we are getting a damage boost to our headshots, and we are getting an aiming time reduction for our sniper skills. In the crit tree we get another massive damage boost here, and we are getting a suppression damage bonus and also some HP on crit. In the damage over time tree we get some boosts to our dot effects and some damage reduction if we are using the Needler sniper rifle. Here in the debuff tree we are making our debuffs better, and we are getting a nice damage boost with the middle one. some damage reduction here, and we are getting another massive boost to our crit strength from this one. In the movement tree we are getting some more cooldown reduction, 1 point into the radical tree, so we get damage boost when our HP is low. The defense tree we want mainly for the last skill, because it gives us another death protection. The other skills here are just a nice bonus to have. Okay, let's have a look at the plus 18 mission now.
Priority purge protocols initiated and being observed. Noospheric data streams are thrice encrypted and set to optimal flow. Good hunting.
Found you guilty of heresy.
There is no escape from the wrath of the Imperium. Deletion complete.
Eradicated.
Imperial reconnaissance forces located. Potentially useful assets, but their current situation is terminal. Immediate action required. Reconnaissance force relieved. Send basic, follow and protect order to the survivors.
Fame is salvation.
eliminated. Enemy command structure compromised. Overall outcome satisfactory. End of log.